Hello, and welcome to the Guilbault Girls Show, where you will have the opportunity to hear from mothers, fathers, siblings, and individuals themselves about their journey of living with a disability. I know, it's called Guilbault Girls, but we have a bonus for you as we get the Guilbault boys to interview some of the dads and siblings and get their perspectives too. We'll also have special guests from time to time to share the many resources that are available to those living with a disability and their families. So get ready to laugh, smile, cry, maybe even get a little angry when you hear some of these stories of their day-to-day struggles. But let's not forget their many triumphs. As they say, it takes a village. And if it weren't for our village, we wouldn't be where we are today. So join us. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Guilbault Girls. I'm your host, Karen Guilbault, and today's guest is Natalia Malko. Natalia graduated from Higher British School of Art and Design in 2012 as a fashion designer. She has a beautiful daughter named Aiuna. Is that correct?
Aiuna.
Yeah. Who also has cerebral palsy, like Faith. When her daughter was 5 years old, she realized more than ever the struggles she had not being able to dress herself. And with that, Be Easy Kid was born in 2019. They design adaptive clothing for kids with zippers, buttons, snaps, making dressing easier and faster. Be Easy Kid clothes work with different devices on the body as well, such as prosthetics, AFOs, braces, just to name a few. So first of all, thank you so much for being on the show and for reaching out to me through Instagram. You know, there's nothing more that I love to do than to share our personal stories and just all the different resources out there for our kiddos and people in the disability community. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for inviting me. You helped me a lot because I saw all your episodes, so it was wonderful. And yes, thank you for your work.
Oh, well, thank you. You just gave me the chills. You know, it's like between working 40 hours a week and taking care of the house, my husband, the kids, and then doing this is just something that I've always had as a passion to do, is to share. Yeah. And I just feel like it's kind of my therapy as well, talking to people and getting it out. So I just wish I had more time to really promote and market, all over different social media platforms. But, it's so great. It's just great because it's all about networking, right? So you never know what's going to come out of who you're going to meet next or whose life you're going to touch or who, what you're sharing. It's just, it's all meaningful. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us first a little bit, because I always like to dive into the background, a little bit about you and your daughter. Is she your only child?
Yes, she's the only child. She's 10 now. She's the only child.
Okay. And did you have any complications when you were pregnant with her, or was she premature?
No, actually, my pregnancy was good, without any abnormalities, and I didn't have toxicosis or something. She was born in term. However, Aiuna had small rashes on her body at birth. It looks like herpes. And doctors put her in an intensive care department where she treated very aggressively with different pills. Doctors made different diagnoses like meningitis. I don't know if I pronounce it in the right way in English, but it was like herpes and etc. However, a week after her birth, they took her to dermatology professor. I don't know why it happened only after 1 week. So yes, and the professor said it is a rare genetic disease called Bloch-Schulzberger syndrome. It's very difficult to pronounce, but anyways, and it would cause only her skin to be the way it should be treated only with iodine. So right after that, doctors took her off the drugs, and after a few days at home, she got withdrawal syndrome and got to the reanimation department, the seizure, where we spent entire month, including 1 week under artificial lung circulation.
Oh, wow.
So yes, it was a medical error. I think it was. So yes.
Yeah.
But the pregnancy was good.
Yeah. And how is she doing now? How does it affect her now? Does it affect her fine motor mostly? Does she still have seizures or?
Yeah, fortunately, we found a very good epileptologist, and he told us everything we should expect. But unfortunately, when Aiuna was 4 months old, she started experiencing seizures.
Mm-hmm.
It's called infantile spasms.
Yep, infantile spasms. Mm-hmm.
Yes, unfortunately, it could have up to 300 seizures daily. That was a nightmare. Seizures were stopped by hormone therapy when Aiuna was 6 months. But right after that, we were told that our daughter has cerebral palsy. But she's now okay. Like, she has left side hemiparesis.
Mm-hmm.
She can walk, she can talk. But anyways, she has development delays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same with Faith. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. She's such a beautiful little girl too. I love the pictures of her.
Yeah, she's my model, fashion model. She said she will be a fashion model one day.
Yes. And you should be right alongside with her. Those pictures are gorgeous. So Natalia's actually from Moscow, Russia, and she's actually currently in New York right now, kind of scoping out different things in the fashion world for disabilities with adaptive fashion and clothing. So where you live, do you have a lot of resources and support you live for people with disabilities in your area?
Yes, actually we do. We have excellent free medical support, like rehabilitation, free rehabilitation, free drugs and other treatments. We have a lot of charity foundations who can help with paid rehabilitation, local rehabilitation or abroad. On top of that, we have special schools with rehabilitation and education, and their child could be like 5 days a week.
Okay.
So yes.
Do you have conductive education therapy in Russia?
Yes, actually, it's new, but we have it. Yes.
Okay.
It came from Hungary, I think.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
Yep. I actually went. We raised money, $15,000 worth of money to take Faith to Canada, to Ontario.
To Canada.
Yes.
Okay.
So we stayed there for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was Monday through Friday. There was 8 families. We were it was almost like a double wide, and the hallways were so long. We all had a big room with our beds and our TV, and then we shared I think there was like 4 bathrooms. The experience was amazing. Like just meeting people from like all over the place. We had a family from China, a family from Japan. We actually had a family that actually was from Freehold, New Jersey, which is where I'm originally from, which was weird. I saw Freehold plates and I'm like, you're from Freehold, New Jersey? But we just met so many people, and it was great to really support one another. And then the kids just bonded. So it was a good experience. It really was. Yeah. So tell me about some of the struggles that you saw her having and how you as a mom tried to help her cope with those struggles. Because I know it's difficult. I mean, there was times just watching Faith. We had 2 people over, fashion designers from the University of Delaware, and they were doing a study, and we had her on videotape. And after a while, we're like, because it was just taking her so long, and we could see her frustration, but she was so adamant and determined to do it. It was like crushing me inside watching her struggle, you know?
Yeah. I will tell you about the physical rehabilitation because it's like the main of cerebral palsy. At the age of 3, she couldn't walk by herself, and we took a lot of different rehabilitation courses, but it still wasn't enough. So I found special mountain skiing program for kids with cerebral palsy. It's from US, but it was crazy, but we tried it. Aiuna could barely stand for a few seconds by herself by that time, but anyways, it worked. And after a course of 10 lessons, she took her first steps.
Wow. And what was this called?
It's mountain skiing. I don't know. We have it's local in Russia, but I'm sure you have it in the US as well.
Yeah, you'll have to message that to me because I want to look it up.
Yeah. She has been skiing already for 7 years, and she loves it. And after all, this is this all gave her freedom and confidence. Yes,
Mhm.
it's about physical. And by the age of 5, I realized that she couldn't get dressed by herself due to her physical and mental disorders. Funny, but the very first Aiuna's word were, "I want to do it myself," even though she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
She went to kindergarten then, and teacher always told us to dress kids without zippers or buttons because they have a lot of kids in a group. So I was trying to fix her clothes so she could get dressed. Still, one day I found an article about Tommy Hilfiger, and I was surprised that such clothes were already on market. So
Mhm.
just like that, we started our brand Be the Kid.
That is awesome. Now, you mentioned in your email that you weren't working in the field of fashion design until the birth of your daughter. Did you ever have an interest in fashion prior, or was she your sole inspiration?
Yeah, in my other life before Aiuna, I worked for legal companies and studied fashion design. But I never thought about being a fashion designer. I was always interested in fashion illustration.
Okay.
But once my sister asked me to launch a clothing brand for kids, and I still remember my answer. I said, "I do not want to design clothes. The market is full of clothes, so I do not see any reason why I should do it." So yes, it was like that.
Wow. Wow. And can you tell us a little bit about Be Easy Kid and its mission?
Yeah. My daughter goes to school because she's 10. There is always a problem with changing clothes for physical activities or going to the restrooms. Of course, the school has assistance and stuff, but kids are shy and they are often afraid to ask for help with clothing. So the main idea of our brand is to make kids feel more confident and independent in
Mhm.
their lives. So sometimes clothing can be a barrier to school attendance and fewer education, leading to social isolation. We design, yeah, as you said before, we design clothes without zippers, buttons, and snaps. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so do you have product already made where people can order it, or do you customize each piece to kind of fit for the child's needs?
Um, Actually, we tried different business models, if I can say so. At the end of 2019, we released our very first small collection of shorts with magnetic closures and pants for AFOs with Velcro flies. And it was designed for kids who goes to school. I thought it would blow the Russian market, clothing market, as we didn't have any adaptive clothing back then. But it didn't work out because nobody had heard about adaptive clothing, and our sales were very, very poor. So also mistakenly, I thought that all kids with cerebral palsy are very thin, but they were not.
Mhm.
They are all very different and from each other, and these shorts and pants we produced were for slim kids.
Mhm.
So in 2020, during the lockdown, we tried to work individually and customize each piece, but it wasn't economically viable. We tried to maintain affordable prices, but it was impossible.
Mhm.
In the near future, we plan to produce an inclusive collection for all kids, regardless of their abilities. So I don't want to call it like adaptive. I will call it inclusive. So
Mhm. Mhm.
like to have more target audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Absolutely. And
yeah.
then what is your what is your hope for the future in the world of fashion for people with disabilities?
Um. Yeah. My hope. My mission as a mom of a kid with cerebral palsy is to create an adaptive clothing market. So that I'm doing in Moscow right now. So my daughter can live independently. I hope every major brand will have an adaptive clothing collection it has been happening with maternity clothing last few years. So
Mhm.
yes, I hope that every major brand will have it. It's very important, and
Yeah.
yeah, for everyone.
Yeah, it's important on all levels. And what was it else I was going to? Oh, so you kind of touched on it about, why you pay particular attention to the accessories and the cutting.
Yeah,
But again, like you said, everybody is different. It's not a one size fits all.
yeah,
And then some people that are, in wheelchairs, they need a little extra room for their,
yep.
that seated position, all of that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you're in New York and you're trying to check out everything with the fashion world in New York. Is this your first time to the States?
Yeah, it's my first time in the States, but I thought I would see any of adaptive clothing like in physical stores, but unfortunately, I couldn't find anything. It's only online. I went to Nike, like they have for these adaptive shoes. I
Mm-hmm.
went to Tommy Hilfiger. I went to Target. So yes, no one knows. Even no one knows who works there about
There.
adaptive clothing. Yeah,
Yeah, and there
unfortunately.
needs to be more aware. I agree. There needs to be a lot more awareness because I
Yeah,
remember back when because Faith was in the runway show in New York for Runway of Dreams twice. She was
yeah,
in the first one, which was 2016, and that was when they collaborated with Tommy Hilfiger for the first adaptive line that came out. And then we actually attended the one in 2018. And then in 2019, Faith walked again. And then this time she showcased Kohl's Adaptive. So I've gotten to know a lot of the designers and I met a lot of them and I still keep in touch with them. We just had an interview with Derek Flores from Zappos
yeah,
Adaptive. But even like from Target and Kohl's, um, it, when I've gone into the Target, here and I've talked about it, they didn't really know in the beginning. Um, and then a lot of the stores, I don't know how many stores, but there are stores like Target has their billboards or their advertisements.
yes. I saw it
R-
in the physical stores. Yes, but I
yes.
couldn't find anything about adaptive clothing. Yeah,
Right. So
unfortunately.
they need to maybe put more information on there as to where they can purchase it or something.
Yes,
Um,
yeah,
because my one friend, her son Colton was actually the one. There was a little boy. It went viral. There was a little boy named Ollie, and he saw a picture, and his mom snapped it of him looking up at Colton in the ad, and it went viral. So then they ended up going to Kelly Clarkson live show, and they got to meet him, and it was awesome. But no, I agree. I still feel like we have a long way to go as far as getting the word out to people that adaptive clothing does exist. And
yeah,
the hope is always that one day it will be in stores, just like you
yeah.
have those plus size and the
Plus
maternity
size,
size
yeah.
and and having an adaptive
And it's very important for people with disabilities, like to fit it, to try it on, like because
mhm,
they're all different. So it's
mhm.
very important to have it in physical stores. And I don't know why there is no stores. Like
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that we have a very low awareness in Russia as well. And I have another project besides Be the Kid. It's called Fashion Picnic Festival. We organize festivals in different cities in Russia,
Okay.
and we unite fashion in rehabilitation industries. I can call it like an expo, but it's not actually an expo. But yeah,
Very
we
similar.
try to we like to. I try to make a community
Mhm.
around fashion these fashion designers. Yes,
Mhm.
so but yeah, sometimes it works because a lot of journalists and TV media persons join our festivals. Like we have more and more awareness about adaptive clothing on our market. But unfortunately, actually we have physical stores with adaptive clothing,
Oh, they do.
but
Okay.
it's only the only one brand, and it looks like very medical clothes. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, so people with disabilities, they don't like this brand. But anyways, they can try it on the clothing.
Right.
Yeah, we have Tommy Hilfiger Adaptive as well in Russia, but it's only online too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited that you reached out to me. We'll definitely have to get together and chat afterwards and kind of try and network and find people
Yes.
for you to network to, especially since you're in New York. Is there anything else that you would like to share or any advice you would like to give before we wrap up?
I don't know what advice I can give actually. I can only say it's like very simple. You should believe in what you are doing. Like, I think that's very important. It's like, because I have a kid with cerebral palsy, if I wouldn't believe in her, so I don't think she would like make her first steps, for example,
Mhm.
especially this program about this mountain skiing. So we should believe in what we are doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And not give up because our kids certainly
Yeah.
aren't giving
Yes.
up.
Yes.
The moment we give up, they're going to sense it and then they're going to give up. And we don't ever
Yeah.
want that. So, yeah, we just keep going.
Yes. Yeah. And I hope that one day we can try adaptive clothing on in physical stores, and it will have like Zara will have it, like the major brands will have it.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes, I agree. And I also want to advocate for better handicap
Yeah.
dressing rooms.
Yes. Yes. It's very difficult. I know it's all about accessible environment, and I can understand physical stores why it's difficult to like to make it happen to have adaptive clothing collection because they need to have accessible environment like yes fitting rooms and etc.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. Enjoy the rest of your time in New York. And we
Thank
will
you.
definitely stay in touch. I will also have a link to your website and your Facebook and Instagram page. So if people want to go over and check out your stuff, they can do that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right. You have a good one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us as we spread awareness through our personal stories and the many resources shared. You can help us by joining our village simply by sharing our show to the masses. If you would like to support the Guilbault Girls on another level, click on the link in the show notes to make a donation in any amount. Add your address and you'll receive a hand-stamped token with the word village on it in appreciation. Be sure to subscribe to our Guilbault Girls podcast and YouTube show, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Guilbault Girls. Till next time.